What's up, everybody? Derek Anderson, the DA. All right, everybody, look. Running Man, bruh, this is a terrible movie, all right? This is a really, really, really bad movie, okay? It's not a good movie at all. I don't care what Rotten Tomatoes says. I don't care what the tomato meter or the popcorn meter says. This is a 2 out of 10 at best. All right. This is a drag to watch. I was bored. I was tired of it about maybe like 40, 50 minutes in. I was like, I don't really want to watch the rest of this. Oh my God. It's a 2 hour and 13-minute movie. We got another hour of this crap. It was a hard watch, man. Very, very difficult movie to watch and enjoy, especially for somebody that grew up with the OG 87 Running Man with Arnold Schwarzenegger. And honestly, what this proves is that Glen Powell, I'm sorry, bro, you are not a leading man like Arnold Schwarzenegger, at least for this type of a movie. This type of a movie absolutely needed an Arnold Schwarzenegger with all the charisma in the world, all right? Big, jacked up, buff dude, 6'4" or whatever the hell. I don't know how tall he is. But you needed that kind of an actor to pull this off. All right. Somebody that had charm and charisma and could drop a good one-liner and all of that. Glen Powell ain't that dude. Okay. I'm not saying he's a bad actor, but he is not Arnold. This movie needed Arnold. It needed an Arnold type actor. All right. Somebody that can do that. But yeah, it's bombing hard right now. As Cosmic Book News says, Running Man bombs hard. Box office collapses on opening weekend. Yeah, it's absolutely getting mollywopped out there in the box office. Nobody went to watch this movie, okay? Nobody went to check on this movie whatsoever at all. Deadline is asking why The Running Man fell down at the box office with a $28 million global opening. I want you guys to sit back and think about this for a minute. $28 million. That's like a $5-6 million horror movie if it does that. $28 million on the global opening. Oh, okay, we did all right. How much did The Running Man cost? Oh, The Running Man cost $110 million. Damn! And it only made $28.2 million in its opening weekend. This is going to be one of the biggest flops of the year.
Rejected.
No question about it. This is a flop and a half for your ass. This is terrible. These box office numbers should send an immediate signal to Hollywood. Hey, we got to knock it off with all of these remakes and reboots and prequels and sequels and all of that shit. We got to knock it off. All right? Because audiences ain't coming for it no more. Audiences don't care for this crap. They are tired of it. I'm tired of it. But see, again, a movie like this, you need Arnold Schwarzenegger. All right? You need Arnold Schwarzenegger to pull off this particular story. And Glen Powell, I'm sorry, he just ain't it. Okay? He's just not it. But yeah, you got a lot of Monday morning quarterbacking going on right now. All the outlets, oh, I wonder what happened. Why didn't this movie work? Well, it didn't work because, number one, it's just a bad movie. It's just overall a bad movie. The movie is just not a good movie. You know, the storyline and everything that we got from Stephen King and the original story, it's just not an interesting story. It's not good enough on its own to sustain a movie. Okay, so, and then what Edgar Wright decided to do with this, and then again, the character, like I said, of Ben Richards being played by Glen Powell, it just doesn't work. Again, the story itself is just not strong enough to carry a movie. You know, on its own, you need a charismatic actor. And if you don't have a charismatic actor, then you probably got a shitty ass movie. That's just me being honest. Number two, I think just people are tired of remakes. You know, I talk about this like every day on my channel, it seems like. Remakes, reboots, sequels, prequels, spinoffs. It's been there, done that. People have seen this again and again and again. It's like, why you guys keep going back to that same well? Oh, well, you know, because we got this legacy sequel that took off, Top Gun Maverick. Everybody loved Top Gun Maverick. Like, no. That's not going to work on every movie. Some movies, it's just like they one and dones. All right. Running Man, for instance, is a one and done. It's not a movie that you can make a bunch of sequels off of. And again, it needs a powerhouse like an Arnold Schwarzenegger. You got to cast that dude. All right. And again, going back to that, people are tired of the movies or the prequels and sequels. This in itself is a bad movie. But then the main reason, in my opinion, is that Glen Powell just doesn't have it, man. He's not a movie star like that. He's okay. He's probably good in romantic comedies or whatever, like that one with Sydney Sweeney. Probably just fine there. You know, you could put him as a secondary role in something like Top Gun Maverick. But you know, and I know he was in Twisters, and Twisters was solid. But overall, I don't think he's not the type of actor that you need for The Running Man. Okay, for The Running Man, you need a big, beefed up, you know, wisecracking, you know, one-liner dropping Arnold Schwarzenegger type actor. Alan Ritchson would have been much better in this. They should have put Alan Ritchson in this, you know, and Alan Ritchson would have knocked it out of the park because he's that kind of an actor, you know. But like, I'm sorry, man. I'm starting to agree with Uncle T that Glen Powell, I'm sorry, he's just not a draw. He's not going to put butts in seats. He's just not. He's all right. He's a good actor, but you're not going to see The Running Man because of Glen Powell. If you went to see this movie, you went to see it because of The Running Man, because you said, oh, I care about The Running Man. I care about this story. I care about the Stephen King novel. I want to see what they updated it with from Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's why you would have went to see this. You don't see this because Glen Powell is in it. You know, that's just the honest to God truth. And if you guys deny that, tell me the Glen Powell movie that you went to strictly because Glen Powell was in it. But I think the fourth reason, and honestly, like I said, The Running Man, the premise is not enough to put butts in seats. And it's crazy because they figured that shit out back in 1987. Hey, this story alone is not enough. We're going to need Arnold Schwarzenegger in this, all right? That's why, and then we're going to change the story up. Not only are we going to put Arnold in it, we're going to change this story completely different from what Stephen King wrote, which is why this movie right here is the novel, but the original 87 Running Man is nothing like the novel. Nothing at all like the novel. So it seems like they figured something out back 40 years ago. It's like, you know what? This story really don't work for a movie. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do our own thing with it. We'll take the same kind of central core concept and we'll just run with it, and we'll just do something different. And it made a much better movie. The 87 Running Man is 10 times better than this shit. This is not a good movie. And so I think that Hollywood has to understand, look, there's certain core tenets when it comes to action adventure movies like The Running Man that you guys got to stick to. And in my opinion, look, the one-liners, the jokes from an Arnold Schwarzenegger type actor, it works. It works good in a movie like The Running Man, all right? Where it's like, yeah, it's really not that interesting of a story that you could put in theaters. But yeah, if you play around with it, you know, and you divert away from it, hey, it might be all right. You know, especially if you have a good actor like Arnold. Yeah, so I think those are the main takeaways from this. Look, this thing is absolutely going to flop. It's going to fall on its ass. $28 million, y'all. $28 million on a $110 million budget, and that's before marketing. This thing is an absolute disaster, all right? But I want Hollywood to listen to us.
Listen to the fans.
The fans are telling you what it is you need to do. The fans of The Running Man would have probably told you, I wouldn't do this movie. I would go in a completely different direction. And if I did decide to go in this direction, I wouldn't spend $110 million on it because you're going to lose all of that money. All right. So, yeah, if you want to know, hey, why did The Running Man fall down at the box office? Like, Deadline goes into it a little bit. Let's read on this. In a post-strikes COVID theatrical landscape where everyone is still trying to figure out what works, along comes Paramount's $110 million reboot, The Running Man, starring affable star on the rise, Glen Powell, hot off of Top Gun Maverick, $1.49 billion globally, Anyone But You, $220 million globally, and Twisters, $372 million globally. And it completely trips up in its U.S. $17 million and global $28.2 million opening. Running Man was completely blindsided by Lionsgate's surprise #1 star for Now You See Me, Now You Don't, which did $21.3 million domestic and $75.5 million worldwide. Yeah, again, this is the problem. Running Man is kind of feels like been there, done that. It doesn't have the star power of Arnold Schwarzenegger. Glen Powell, again, I'm not saying he's a terrible actor, but he really don't have the star power like that. If you're saying that this guy was the draw for Top Gun Maverick, you're delusional. All right. That was Tom Cruise. All right. Anyone But You can apply that to Sydney Sweeney and Glenn. And then Twisters was a reboot. All right. Or a remake. So, yeah, you can't attribute any of this to the affable on the rise star of Glen Powell. I don't think he's a star. I don't think he's an action star. I don't think he's a movie star. I think he's a good actor. and he does really good in the roles that he's played, but I don't think he's a star like that. I got to see it first, okay? I'm one of these see it and I'll believe it, but I haven't seen it yet, okay? From a distance, the third tentpole bet on Powell was In It to Win It with Baby Driver filmmaker Edgar Wright, attached to direct and co-adapt the Stephen King tome penned under his Richard Bachman pseudonym about a working man in a dystopian race who is pursued by assassins as he eyes a big dollar lottery prize. But again, I think you got to do that big time. All right, you got to go big or go home. You got to get Arnold Schwarzenegger. You got to have over-the-top special effects, over-the-top actors. Everybody's got to be playing this insane role. Oh, I'm a comic book villain damn near, okay? I got all kinds of superpowers and all that kind of stuff. You got to put that into this movie. If you don't do that, it just doesn't work on this straightforward level. Oh, it's just a dystopian story. I just don't think anybody was buying it, and that's the reason why this thing flopped. The more we dive into this, the more we hear that Running Man's fumbling at the box office stemmed largely from the administration changeover from the old guard to the new guard under David Ellison at Paramount. See, again, the Monday morning quarterbacking that goes on in Hollywood studios completely ignores the audience. It ignores us, the fans. The fans is not rocking with this. All right, you got to listen to the fans.
Really listen to the fans.
Listen to us. You can't go wrong when you listen to your audience. The audience wasn't checking for this. I could have told you that. In fact, I did tell them that. I said, hey, look, I know that, Glen Powell is a decent enough actor, but I don't know if he's really the right move for Running Man. I think Running Man is an Arnold Schwarzenegger joint. All right. And I thought, yeah, maybe it might do like $25-35 million opening weekend. It didn't even come close to that. This is a flop, and they spent way too much money on it. So yeah, all the Monday morning quarterbacking, again, I go down to 4 things, okay? Bad movie. The movie sucked on its own. Before you get to anything else, it's not going to have word of mouth. So the movie sucked, all right? People are tired of the remakes. People are tired of reboots, all right? Stop it. Knock it off. Glen Powell is just not that kind of an Arnold Schwarzenegger level action hero where this type of movie really needs that type of an actor. It's just not that. And then finally, the storyline itself was just kind of dumb. And they were smart enough to change that back in 87. So yeah, all of this Monday morning quarterbacking, it really don't make no difference because at the end of the day, nobody was going to come and watch this. But you guys let me know what y'all think. What do y'all think about The Running Man? Did you go and watch it? Did you like it? Did you enjoy it? Did you think that this was a good movie? All right. It's getting good ratings right over here, but I think there's a lot of problems with this that Hollywood is just ignoring. When it comes to these reboots, people are ignoring the facts that nobody cares about this anymore. The 18 to 25 audience definitely ain't watching this, and then there's a lot of people like myself that's in my age range that's just like, I think I'm good. I already saw the original Arnold Running Man. I don't need to see this one. All right, this one doesn't do anything for me. It doesn't give me any hope that they're going to outdo it or it's going to be better or anything like that. So why am I watching this? Hollywood, it's time to listen to the fans. We're trying to tell y'all how to fix this shit. You guys won't listen, but y'all let me know what y'all think. Go ahead, jump down in the comments. Give me your thoughts and opinions on that. Thanks for watching. See you next time.